funded our EU-funded project, Eastern Partnership Civil Society Facility. And just to tell you that we have, in fact, other opportunities as well. As a general objective of the project, we're really trying to strengthen the role and to increase the capacity of civil society organizations and activists in the 6th Eastern Partnership region. We are now in the middle of our implementation already. Actually, we've passed the mid of our implementation, so we're halfway through this phase of the project. We have quite a number of activities happening, some of them very much in parallel, as you can see on the slide. But what I wanted to mention, because it might be relevant for some of you here today, is that we also have a call for, and sorry, I don't want to create even more confusion, but as we have the at the same time as the call for the hackathon, we also have the call open for civil society fellowships. So I think either Lena or Ira will probably share the link to our website, and there you can see if you are interested in that opportunity as well, you can apply there as well. And by the way, if you have a prototype and you can apply for the hackathon, but you also want to try the Civic Digital Fellowships, I think that will probably be a wise approach. So you can try to apply to both of the opportunities we have ongoing. I'm not going to talk about the hackathon because this is the whole purpose of today's meeting, so I'll leave that to Ira. What I wanted to mention still is that we also have some other capacity building activities. We have a webinar coming tomorrow, which will be on fundraising for civil society organizations. So if you want to join, it will be a mini series. We will have 2 webinars on the same topic, but with slightly different, let's say, with a slightly different approach. And the first one of the series will take place tomorrow. Again, if you're interested to join us, we would be very happy to see you there. We also develop and launch different courses for civil society organizations and activists. We had very recently a course on storytelling. We will have very soon one on stress management, which is unfortunately very much needed in the region as well as beyond. There will be other opportunities coming, so please do follow us on social media and keep an eye on our website. With that being said, I mean, Ira will tell you all about this year's hackathon, which is a bit of a special hackathon. We are trying something different, but it's good to see that we have 10 of you joining us today, which is actually, considering how specific and how unusual what we're trying to do is actually not bad. So I'll pass the floor to Ira to take you through everything related to the hackathon, and Svetlana, I'll try to write in Romanian in the chat. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Monica. Yes, I will take it from here. And as you already mentioned, yes, this year hackathon is a bit unusual. However, it's not that much strange or unusual as it might seem from the very beginning. Okay, I hope everyone, if you are here, it means that most likely you have already been at our hackathon website, and the first picture that this is the landing page, the hackathon landing page, and I hope you remember this. Okay, what is in short we're gonna do? We're gonna work online from May 12 until June 10, and we're gonna this year we're gonna combine the best, I would say the best from 2 types of the events. So we'll combine some of the elements of the classic IT accelerator and a classic hackathon. What it means? It means that instead of this year, instead of coming up with a it's coming with the pure ideas, we invite you to submit already something that you already have. Maybe something that you already have under work, ongoing, under construction and under development. Maybe some of your civic tech projects that you already worked on in the past, but for some reason, you postponed them, you put them on hold because you had difficulties finding, getting the funding, securing the funding for your project, or because, you know, you're stuck at some point and, you know, you have an idea, you have the prototype, but you're not sure what way to go. So this is what we would like to help you with. We would like to help you this year with developing your prototype or even the first releases, your civic tech solutions from where they are right now, bringing them to the next level in the format of the small accelerator. It means you will work with your team, plus we will secure some of the additional technical specialists for you, and we actually have the applications for this, who will join your teams, existing teams, and will help you also with some of those. Every team will have a mentor who will basically babysit you, who will provide not only the expertise, but will also help you to stay on track and not to lose the focus within those days. And you, at the end, you will present your improved prototype, something that you came up with, and the up to 5 top scoring prototypes will be nominated for our digitalization for digitalization for civil society award. This is a special facility established by the EU within our project to support the launch and promotion of the new civic tech solutions in the Eastern Partnership countries. This is to make it short. As always, all the information is in our resource, in our website. I always suggest that with the Hackathon website, because this is where with the news, with the rules, with the guidelines and everything, you have maybe the fullest information available. Feel free to raise the hand. I keep the participants list open, and whenever you want to stop me, please do stop me and come back to what I said. As long as I don't see the questions, let's go further. So I know that some of the most questionable things is, what is the civic tech? It's like, you know, okay, so that's clear, but what exactly you mean when you say civic tech solutions, what you take for the hackathon? We specifically do not put a focus. We do not say medical solution for media, disinformation, so on. We want to keep it as wide as possible. So whatever you work on a social project or, you know, on an IT project for social good or social impact, this can be considered a civic tech. There are, the guidelines provide very detailed information on what, you know, like on the areas, on the spheres and so on. But if you want to do a quick checkpoint, you know, and consider, okay, is my prototype civic tech or not? I would suggest to answer this four questions here. So is your prototype or does your solution address some social problem in your country? And this is an EaP country. Yes, well, go to the next one. Is it designed? It's like, is it designed for and used by citizens, civil society organizations and or civil society organizations? Does it require coding? Because if it doesn't require coding, then it's not exactly civic tech if you don't need to write the code, you know, to develop actually an IT product. And another important question is, to what extent users are engaged into this? Do they only read the information or maybe give the comments, or they actually actively use it? If you answer yes to all these questions, all these 4 questions, then yes, whatever you work on is most likely, I mean, unless I see the product, of course, it is difficult to say, but it's most likely 99.9% is going to be a civic tech project. I see the question. Oh, thank you, thanks, Lena. That was a link. Okay. When we talk about, and again, we said we keep it very wide and open, there are several solutions that actually do not fall under one of those categories and that are not eligible. And I think that maybe this list is not like, again, 100% extensive, full, but or complete, but it gives the most ideas. So there are several solutions that are ineligible. Mostly these are the products that are designed for some specific organizations, like, you know, organization web page or, you know, company web page or initiative web page. Again, because the users are not engaged, this is your own product. There are products that if you want to make a fortune, your IT product, then it's not a civic tech. Civic tech is usually is not for profit. If you do something, if you do it something to support a specific political party, or like a religious group or whatever, it's not a civic tech. On the question about the political parties or candidates, sometimes there are civic tech solutions that help voters to identify, basically, to understand what is happening on the political level. So if this is what you do, just, like given a quiz, interactive quiz or interactive game and so on, helping users to understand as voters, as politically engaged citizens, what is happening in your country at the political level, yes, it is civic tech. As long as it is for one party or one candidate, it's not. And and of course, if you do something that is related with, like let's launch some educational course, or let's do some video, or or we want to do a promotion campaign in social media, unfortunately, it's not a civic tech as well. I hope I didn't scare you and we are not losing the people with this. Okay, let's go further. I know that sometimes, again, even with this being said, and you kind of understand, you want to check. I always suggest going to our bank of ideas. That's the collection of the prototypes, ideas, and actually launch solutions that were developed by our civic digital fellows and our former hackathon participants. If you find something that is similar to what you're working on or what you think about, most likely you're working on a civic tech project. The next question is, what I often get is, what do you mean by the prototype? And I think that was a link. Oh, no, thank you, Monica. And thanks, Lena. So the next question is actually, what do you mean by a prototype? I tried to Google. To be honest, when we put this, for us, it was a kind of clear, but then the first time I asked this question, so to what extent the prototype and what kind of prototype do you mean? I tried to Google, and the Google gave me an absolutely wide spectrum of what can be considered as a prototype. To be honest, we consider as a prototype what you consider as a prototype. So in this case, this can be, like mock-ups in Figma or any other app. You basically, when your designer or you yourself as a designer develop those mock-ups to see how your solution, how your IT product will look at the end, that shows the interaction, different pages, and how users going to interact. That's a prototype. This can be something that you put together with online forms and constructors to do a mobile app, just because you want to understand how the product going to work. That's a prototype as well. It can be something that your team already worked on, and it's as at least they consider ready to launch, and you consider, and this is already hosted on your development server. Great. It can be also that you already launched this product, and this is an MVP, basically minimum viable product. But you see, okay, yes, it's still a lot to be done there. This can also be considered as a prototype. So please don't let the word prototype stop you from applying or going further, or trying with us. As long as you see that there is still work and improvement needed, please go ahead and apply. Very important part. Some people are hesitant to apply, and say, our prototype is not ready, let us work on this. We do not. At the stage of the application, at the stage of getting your prototypes registered and submitted, your application are not assessed based on the readiness of your prototype. They are assessed, only the ideas are assessed. If you go back to the guidelines, you will see very detailed evaluation or assessment table, scoring, and you will see that there is no question about the quality of the prototype. So again, please don't stop on this. I keep checking on the raised hands and I don't see them. Okay, good. The next question is like Hackathon Team, because if you read the announcement, we accept the applications from the teams with prototype civic tech solutions. A team is, again, a very general term, and the team can vary. It can be the minimum number of the team members are 2. It's you, the person who is behind the idea, who's you know, this whose digital solution, who developed, born this, you know, this digital solution, who came up with this idea and get the people on board and started working, and who's going to be the main applicant. And at least one person who can help you with doing the developing, introducing the changes into that product that you want to work on within our hackathon. After that, depending on what you see, at what stage you prototype it, we didn't put the specific requirements saying, oh, this should be a full stack development, should be backend developer or front-end developer, and so on. Depending on what stage your prototype is, depending on what you already have and what you're going to be working on, that's the person that's going to be your second person, second in command, you know, working with you. So it's up to you to decide. If you are a technical person, that's even better. So if you are an IT professional yourself, and this is your baby, you know, this whole this IT product is your baby, you can be also the main applicant and the main technical person, but then you will need someone else because you can't just do everything on your own. But then you are kind of, you have more flexibility of choosing who's going to be the second one working with you. Chicken, okay. The next one. So when we're going to work, how we're going to work, just to remind you that we almost through the calls for application, the end of the day of April 24th, which is next Monday. So we expect your applications with with your prototypes by the end of the day on Monday. And if you are independent IT professional or designer, you have a bit more time. You can apply until the end of the day on May 1st. Then we're going to be working, actually, as we say, we will do our best to inform about the results and everything by the May 7. Even, you know, if you already applied, you already saw that we will do our best to do it by May 5th. And you should bear with us because this is going to be the holidays, the May holidays, so it will take a bit more time than we would like to. And then we're going to be working for 4 full weeks. After that, the finalists will go through the stage of the Digitalization for Civil Society Award, where they will submit the full applications with a budget and everything. But I guess what is more interesting, what is going to be happening at this period from the May 12th until June 10th. If I know that some of you already joined us for the previous hackathon, and I see some of the names, and they can confirm you that first, please do not expect, and we do not expect you to be 24/7 involved within those 4 weeks. Your weekly engagement will vary, but mostly, first, it's you who defines it, you know, you as a team. Second, it's not going to be like every day, several hours. I would say, yes, be prepared to work. Be prepared to work when you actually see this is relevant, but I would say it's like maybe 3-4 hours per week in total, realistically. We will start with a short introduction, opening session. We'll start with to get to know each other, who's going to be working with us on May 12th. Then the next day, we will proceed with the first speeches. There is nothing you need to prepare for the first speeches. You will just show the prototypes. You will have a couple of minutes to present your prototype to the mentors. So mentors can ask you questions. We can ask you questions, and the developers and designers who will join us individually and look for teams, they will ask their questions so they can decide what team they want to work with, because mentors will be picking up the teams on that day. Then you'll have a couple of days to agree with your new team members, you know, because they still might have choice, and this is where you will need maybe to work a bit harder, convincing them to join you, especially if you want some additional people on board, and you will start with the first diagnostic sessions with your mentor. Each mentor will have 2 teams, but each team will have 1 mentor working with you. And that person's going to be your godfather, going to be your guide, and going to be your contact point number 1, except for me when you have the administrative tasks and so on. I'll be the hackathon coordinator in this case. When you're done with the diagnostic sessions, understanding what stage your prototype is, defining the weak points, the strong points, what you can gonna improve and work on within the next weeks, you will start the regular work. So for the next, then for the next 3 weeks, full 3 weeks, you will work on your prototype. The mentor will guide you. If necessary, will come up with additional expertise. The mentors have their own chat where they can go and help each other for support, and they can say, hey, could you consult our team as well, provide advice and so on. They can go to me and say, we need additional expertise in this or that sphere, and I will go through my list of contacts and see who can help with that specific question. There will be a couple of webinars, we hope, kind of really cool and related on your topic, like case studies of specific, successful, hopefully in most cases successful civic tech projects, how they manage to launch it, how to promote, how to make it sustainable, and so on. We'll check with you depending on what solutions we're going to have. So what products we're going to have participated in the hackathon. These going to be, we will adjust the webinars. Again, there won't be too many. And of course, you will have your tracking sessions with your mentor. This is how we're going to see the progress. And you will have 2 days to prepare their final pitch. And on June 10, you will be, every team will present their improved prototypes and vote. Because this is the best part. It's not only mentors or organizers deciding on who is the best. In this case, it's also you who have the right to vote and the right to say, yes, we consider that this is a really cool product and deserves support. This is how it's going to work. Again, I don't see the question so far. That's why I will proceed. Okay, I know that might be the part coming. And I have a question to you. Please raise the hand if there are developers, if we have the participants today who want to join the hackathon as individual developers or designers. Cool. I saw the hand raised. Can you raise once again? So anyone joining the hackathon as a developer or designer? Okay. No hands raised. Okay, then because if we did, I would start with with how they apply, but if not, everyone consider submitting your civic tech solution prototype. That's great. Let's start with this one. Okay, the first thing to remind once again, deadline for you is end of the day, April 24th. Okay, so the registration and everything is here, and I guess you already saw this, and maybe you'll even open the application form. It looks bad, but it's not that bad as it might seem to you. The application form consists of 4 parts. And I'm asking you, please, it's not that difficult, and it's not, we do not expect you to write a lot. So the part number 1 of the application form when you submit your civic tech solution is actually about you as a team leader, providing the contact information and gathering some information that we will need some statistical information. An important note that I say of course, please check your email address that this is correct, because this is where you will receive the confirmation once your application is registered. We will write you back saying everything is cool, we got it. You're there, and if we have questions, we'll come back to you, or we will inform you about the outcomes. When you put the contact phone number, please pay attention. It's numbers only. So if you have plus, whatever, it doesn't work. In brackets, just put the numbers with the country code. That's it that you need to know about this part. Second part is actually about your solution. I didn't put the whole questions here, but I want to kind of stress some of those. we ask you to give some working title of your solution, because this is how your team going to be referred to, right? So you don't have to, for the first question, don't try to just give us, a very simple working type, crowdsourcing platform, help us, whatever. This is good enough. The second is a link to a prototype. As we said, this can be whatever, in any format. Sometimes this can be, you even launched your project, it didn't work, you took it off, and it is somewhere on the server. This also works. Just give us a link where we can see. Because the prototype helps us to understand what you really want to do. Just tell us where we want to do. Give us the target country. So target country is an EaP country. Sometimes it can be as specific as a very community or town or a region, within your country that you see your solution going to be applied. I understand that we all want to go like international, but at this very stage where you want to start, and there's going to be a target country. Short description should be really short. Just mention us what you're going to be, or what you really want to do. Give us in a nutshell, and also mention how you developed the prototype. Was it on your own initiative? Was it part of some grant project? Did you get any funding for this? Was it another hackathon, and so on? Again, it's not a decisive thing. This is just to understand. A bit more specific is like your specific problems. So show us that you know what problem you want to address. It can be any societal challenge that you consider relevant for your country. We ask for some short explanation of the technical implementations. It doesn't mean that you need to write what programming language you're going to use, what database you're going to use. That's great if you know this, but at this stage, it's not necessary. It's more important how you see the functions, so the main functions. That's what is meant by the technical implementation. The question about sustainability is actually the question about your business model. So try to answer the question in a format like rephrase it for you. Okay, we launch and then what? So how you gonna survive at least through the first year? The moment when, imagine you got the funding, you got the support from the EU through our project, and what happens next? So you launch, the funding is over, and then what? Will you look for additional grants? Will you run the crowdfunding? Will you support it because you have an organization behind and you have some additional funding that you can, because you will need at least to pay for hosting, server, and so on. Check if anyone else provides the services, and most likely yes. And the last question, as I always say, there is no, when we ask, okay, so what do you think, what areas of e-development your solution falls under? Please remember, there is no right or wrong answer. It just, again, your understanding how you see this. And that's it about the solution. So basically then we ask about your some experience and your relevant experience. This part is just to show that you as a team lead, you know what you are doing. Because you either have the experience, maybe you have the experience in the IT sphere, you're a developer yourself, or you're a product manager, or you worked on similar solutions and so on. Or maybe because you're an expert in the field on that problem you want to address. Again, it's pretty simple. The next part is the team. Here is the trick. As we said, there are 2 team members obligatory. If you are a developer, a designer, a Q&A professional, quality assurance expert, or data expert, or whatever, then please do add yourself as a team member. And that should be team member number 1. If you are not, if you are just the concept and the product owner and so on, don't do this. Add the technical people here. That would be it. Okay. Again, that's it about the application process. I'm not going through the rest of those because I think that the rest of the details are kind of very super clear. But I'm gonna stop here to see if we have any questions. Nope. Nothing in the chat. Oh, I love this. And the Q&A. Okay, will all personal applications of designers, developers match to the teams? Thanks, Mira, for the question. I'm going to answer this live. Okay, with the applications from developers, individual developers and designers, we do not match them manually. Once you pitch your project, they have the right to choose what they wanna, what team they wanna apply. In most cases, I can tell you that now we have already 6 applications, although they have like more time to apply, and usually applications comes at the end. And we have the really cool backend and front-end developers. So at least you will have the minimum skills to add to your team. But yes, they come, you present your project, you present your prototype, you post it in the Slack. So how it's going to be, the communication will be done in Slack. Everyone, there will be joint channels. Everyone will have, every team will have a room, let's say, where they will have the mentors, me and your team members. And then, and the project will have a channel with a project description, and we will put a Trello. We will do a Trello board. I will help you with this, where just people can go and see, oh, okay, this is what, this is what they have. And they just basically going to knock at your door, or send you a direct message, or join you as in the channel and ask the questions. And when they decide, okay, that's a match, you will let me know that, okay, we got another +1 project, +1 person. Could you please formally include this as our team member? I hope I answered your question. See no more questions. Okay. Here is a question in the chat. So if we have a team, our members don't need to make, no, that's a cool thing. Thanks, you, Alina. Yes. If you have a team, there is no need for them to register personally. You just include them. Where is this? Your team. You just include them into this part. You just basically, you as a person who apply on behalf of the team, you list your information, and then in part 4, you just include all the relevant team members. There are more actually, so there is no end limit. We have like 3 or 4 detailed for team members with the expertise and so on, but then there is also the text field where you can list as many as you want. Thanks, Alina. That was a very good question. Okay, then I will proceed. So I don't see that. I'm still asking, do we have here any IT professionals who want to join the hackathon and work with others? Okay, if not, I'll go through this very quickly because we do the recording. So if you are a developer, a designer, a data professional, I don't know, marketing specialist, because this also can be, because you can also help with the targeting, of solutions, with promotion strategy and so on. So if you are an expert in IT products related with the development, design, promotion, and so on of IT products, and you want to join a team and participate in the hackathon and help others, first, your deadline for registration is May 1st, end of the day. And second, you are most welcome to join. Okay, so your form is even easier. It's the same registration, you just registration page, you just choose the second form. And yes, it also consists of 2 parts, with the part number 1 being identical to the application form, to the information that we collect about the team leads. Please, again, make sure that you put the numbers only, no pluses, brackets, and so on, just the phone number, and that the email address is correct. And then we ask about your experience. So we also understand what you're at. There are several things, again, I want to make sure. The first question is where we understand, these main areas, they are very general. So the first, your main areas of expertise is just to understand, okay, we have developers, we have designers, we have, Q&A, we have web architects and so on. So just to understand what we have on board. Your specific experience, like, if you want to mention your programming languages, if you want to mention your areas of expertise, because I mean, graphic designer, me being as a graphic designer in the past, I understand that it can mean a lot. So if you want to add the details, that goes into your areas of expertise, you know, so what you did, what you specialize in, because this will also help us to understand, okay, maybe because okay, I will come back to this, but sometimes we get questions from our applicants saying, could you please introduce us to someone with this experience, and we're always happy to share the contact details. Maybe they contact you before. The employment, we take students. It's great if you're a current student. It's great if you are new in the profession. It's up to you. There is no restriction. There is no wrong or right answer to this. And it's okay to be new. That's why, you know, don't worry about this if you don't have to, if you don't have much of the experience, and yes, you can always contribute. That's our, oh my God, 5th hackathon, and some of the most dedicated and most engaged developers and designers were actually those who are young, and they're very helpful. Because you have because you're new, you have fresh ideas, you look at the problem from the different angle. Very often you're younger, and you're also on the top with the technologies. And yes, link it to your portfolio. It's also pretty simple. This can be your LinkedIn page, something that you put together on a Behance of Upworks. Designers know this, you know, we all the time publish some of the best works. This can be something that you put together on the Google Drive. You know, don't present, if you don't have a personal page, if you don't have a portfolio, don't worry about this. Just show us what you can. So again, we can understand what your area of specialization, of what you major in. For developers, I know it's a bit more difficult, but sometimes it helps just to get the link to a couple of links to your best projects. Maybe that, and this also works as a portfolio. Coming back to that's it with this. I'm ready for the Q&A, and I see that people are leaving. It's either a good or a bad sign, I'm not sure. So if you have a solution, if you have a prototype, but something happened to the teams, and please do write to us. And if you need a support with the team members, maybe we can help you with someone from the regional relevant background and so on from our contacts. We can provide you with some details, contact details, so do the introduction. But then again, it's up to you. That's why you're the team lead. To go back. Okay, questions. Mirab, thanks for the question. The question is, are there any country quotas for the finalists? Nope. We try to get the regional balance, but it's never the aim, because at the end of the day, that's you voting. So the finalists are decided based on the vote. Up to 3 finalists are decided based on the participants' vote. And you do this through our app. So where you vote you evaluate all the projects except yours. And the system calculates the average score for every project, and the top scoring goes as finalist. And then 2 are based on the mentor's vote. Even I do not vote in this case, for instance, because I'm too much engaged. So no, there is no country quota. See no questions, and I see no raised hands, and I understand why. I understand that maybe you need some time. So I also thought that maybe some of the questions going to be relevant to you. One of those is what Monica already mentioned at the very beginning. If you already applied for a fellowship program, but you want to try with a hackathon, yes, please go ahead and do apply. These 2 programs are not mutually exclusive. It doesn't mean that, you know, if you're in one, you can't go for the other one. No, you can, and vice versa. If I know that the English language can be something that also I come from the same region as your first big secret. None of us is a native English speaker, so it's fine. If you have mistakes, if you mispronounce the words, if you can't find the word, that's fine. We're going to help you around. As you saw, most of us speak 2+ languages, and we'll be happy to help. Besides, in your team, within the team, you can decide on the language you're going to use for the communication. There is no restriction, no limit. If you prefer one of the national language, or you prefer the Russian language or the English language, just agree with the team members and with the mentor what language you're going to use for the internal communication. If you are worried about I know that pitching, and this is where you will need to do it in English for the general sessions. But again, this is if you are a team lead and you are supposed to do the pitching, but you don't feel confident pitching in English because of the stress, because of whatever, but there is a team member in your team who actually does the pitching well, whose English is better than and has no problems, no stress, he can substitute you or she can substitute you. So that's fine, as long as it works, that's also fine. Yes, and as I already mentioned, it doesn't matter how well developed or how immaculated and so on the prototype is. It's not an evaluation criteria. It just prototype is there to help us understand your idea and your product. That's it. I've got no more questions prepared for you. I'm very thankful for your attention, for you joining us today. And I just hope to get applications from you. Again, we're here. If you want to voice your question, raise your hand. You can voice your question in Ukrainian, in Russian, in Romanian. We have Monica here who can help us. And we can answer.
There is one question in the chat.
Okay.
Look.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Thanks, Alina. So who can vote at the end of the hackathon? Okay, so each participant of the hackathon gonna vote. And how this will happen. You will receive, each participant will vote and will evaluate the project. It's not like vote, okay, I vote for this one. Each participant will evaluate every project except of her own. So you won't see your own project in the system. You will see all the other projects, you will see other prototypes and specific criteria how that's going to be evaluated. If you're interested, the criteria are feasibility, if it is possible to do, social impact, right? Whether it's really going to make the change, relevance, to what extent this project is actually needed by the target audience and so on. And I just forgot 2 more questions, but they are in the guidelines. Thank you, Hamid. Yes, so you, each participant vote, so you do the evaluation and the system do the average scoring. There is no way we can influence this. It's only you participants, hackathon participants, who actually does this. It doesn't matter if if some of the participants skipped some of them, decided not to evaluate some prototypes. It's okay because we do the average.
Ira,
yes.
and when you say participants, you mean not the team lead only, but the team members as well?
Yes, the team members as well. Yes, the developers and the designers as well. That's correct. Thanks, Lena. Amit, I'm really happy that it inspired you to apply. We really look forward to getting your applications. As I said, please, whenever you have the questions, please feel free to email them to us. We are here for you to help. With this being said, I'll stop the recording.
Ira, I think